Hi everyone, it's Andy Glenn here from Solway TV, joined by the main man himself. It's only Jamie Thomson. Jamie, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Andy. Thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. I'm okay. I say the main man because all that I've heard, you pulled together the guys that are the owners of Solway now and made this happen. That correct?
No, I don't. I don't think. I don't think I can pull all the credit together. I've certainly been instrumental in trying to keep them gelled together and fix as many problems as we can, or well, I say problems, answer as many questions as we have, and keep them right. Um, in terms of what the governance and things like that are for the league and the council. That's been a long thing, but. It happened quite early on, actually. Santi Boessa came to me, who Jordan's dad, who I've known a long, long time, and indicated that he would like to be involved if we were able to put people together to try and save the team as such. Because at that point we knew that DGR Sports weren't going to be the operator anymore because the council weren't able to renew.
Yeah.
So at that point, I just kind of had to crank it up. There's a kind of common misconception this was some long-winded plan, but it couldn't be further from the truth. We we obviously got wind that things weren't quite right with the council, and always had in our mind that we would come up with a plan to save it if we could. But until that point, you never really hope that you never need to action it. But so that all kind of come around quite quickly, and credit to Gary and Jamie, the two local guys, and Charlie and Santi. We met face to face quite a few times and spoke constantly, to the point where they all agreed that we could move forward as a group. And since then, we've never really looked back. It's been constant work, and again, loads of communication, loads of questions, but all really positive and in a good place, Andy. So. Um, I've been, you've been involved in this club since its inception in 1998 and before. So I wasn't overly confident that this was possible. I'll be honest about that. But I certainly thought we've got to give it a go. At least we deserve that to to ourselves, to our fans, to our fa families, to everybody who's put the work in over the years who probably don't get mentioned.
Yeah.
Sandra Edgar and all these people from years and years ago who helped build the club. We certainly weren't going to let it die just for just because an operator had unfortunately, it hadn't worked out. So, aye, that's so we're here now.
But let's be clear for fans because they have obviously not had the updates as we went through because things had to be done behind the scenes. There was no
Yep.
long-term plan. This was pulled together as an emergency to save
Yeah.
the club, frankly.
Man, no, absolutely, you're bang on there. You were invited to some of the meetings as well, and that we Owen and some of the key members of our team, and that's exactly what it was. It was an emergency. Can we do it? How much money do we need in the bank prior to the start of the season? When do we need to have that in for? Where can we get it? Who's willing to put that in? And then not just money, it's about a level of commitment as well. Who does what? Like who's in charge of what? Having one point of failure does not work at this level. You need a team effort. Who's willing to put that in, etc., etc. And that's where we've got to buy. You're very much right. It was unfortunately with this, it's like we need a decision really quickly. Um, Pulled these people together, and we got there quickly. And I have to say that both them and the council and the league have been spot on. They've been really, really good at communicating harshly. As you would expect, the new contract is watertight. It's really, really bulletproof. Um, we jumped through hoops for the league, treated as a brand new entity. Although they knew it was us, they knew it was me and Martin, they knew it was the team. We had to go through that whole process again, which is,
That's
it's a
not a
lot of
given, is it?
paperwork.
That's not a given that we just walked into the league because
No,
we had a place for the previous ownership.
no, absolutely not. And I mean, let me get it straight. Like from the one, Steve Nell, John Neville, these guys, they were really supportive of our attempts, but they were also really clear that they have to do the process right and protect the league. The league's the more important thing, and which is fine. So there was all the due diligence done on the directors, on the new board. Gary actually went and had done a presentation with him last week. Background, who we were, where the money come from, what our 3-year plan is. I did a forecast, I did a budget and a forecast for the next 3 years. Where potentially we failed previously, how can we improve on, like, loads and loads of different stuff. I mean, I probably put 300 hours of work into it, and with the help of the board, and Gary went and delivered it, and here we are. So what I will say is that we've got a robust business plan this time. We've got a real plan for everything, includes our budgets and spends. I've managed to work with some of our existing partners and new partners in terms of travel and hotels and things like that, and greatly reduced our external spend, which probably should have been done in the past. I looked at the past, but that wasn't something that we were involved in. So we're in a really, really solid place, but ultimately that comes down to the new board and the team have put us there, and it's been a long road, but you know, I think Martin and that are really pleased that we're here and that now. I'm like, right, we're here now. We need to now the hard work starts. We've got to get bums on seats, and we've got all that to navigate now. Over the coming weeks, can people afford to come to games? What's going to happen? So we're by no means out the woods. The team is secure. We've got great funding. We've got money in the bank and capital at start, which is important. We now need to try and engage with fans and try to get them on board and the bums on seats early as possible and keep them. Traditionally our crowds are lower this side of Christmas to them. Don't know why. We really can't have that now. We need bums on seats from pre-season onwards, which I'm sure we'll get, I think. So
But it's very difficult for fans, some fans in particular, at the point that we record this, are out of pocket. We're hopeful in the next 2 or 3 days that they do get refunded for season tickets that they've bought through the previous ownership. But that money really needs to come into the new entity because that'll be part of the budgets and plans and things moving forward, Jamie, won't it?
well, it's really difficult to budget for money that's already spent because look, I'm going to be really really careful here what you say, but personally, I hope that that money all gets refunded to people. They've spent the money for something they can't get. They gave it to a business that doesn't exist. Really, it's trading insolvency, whatever you want to put on it. That's a totally separate thing, dealing with a total separate entity. So we can't budget for having that income this year because
Yeah.
potentially, if that money doesn't come back, they might not have it to spend. And that creates a massive problem for us as the new team moving forward. Potentially the budget could be 70,000 down on season ticket sales. We don't actually know what the number is, that how many were pre-sold. And also we can't really put ours on sale or do any ticket deals or anything until this is resolved, whether it be good news or bad news or whatever. So we're kind of in limbo with that kind of revenue stream, which of course is our main one. And that puts
Yeah.
us in a really difficult position. But, I hope it gets reviewed really quickly. All the fans that I've spoke to have been really supportive. Of course, we'll do as much as we possibly can to keep it as affordable as possible. But I mean, ultimately, we need people to pay to come and watch to keep the team on the ice. So, it's difficult. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure there'll be some sort of announcement in the next 24 hours as per the previous one. But what that'll be, I have no idea, or any communication with them at all.
One of the other things that I think has been noticeable in its real positivity is that the league required us to change our name, I understand. And that has been received really well by fans.
Yeah. How to word this properly, and you're good at these questions. Always get me with these. I
I,
think
I try my
I
best,
think
Jamie.
league requirements probably not the way to think. So obviously everybody loves seeing Ross Murray's constant updates on LinkedIn, right? Where he's no telling everybody about his great return to the SNL team, which it's hilarious on a daily basis. But Ross done a great thing to try and protect the team, the name that had been going from 1998 for the community, for all the teams, the ladies, the juniors, all the rest of it to use. Quite a clever business move, actually, which has turned out to be. That's obviously been challenged by the former operator. Whether that wins or or goes is yet to be decided. I would doubt very much that there is a case there, given the evidence of ownership for 30 years, etc., etc. However, the league and our owners, has to say, our board, weren't willing to leave ourselves exposed to even more headache and potential legal case. So yes, so at the minute we had to use an abbreviation of the name. We didn't want to go full rebrand. There was hundreds of names talked about. We wanted to keep our identity, and who knows in the future, the Sharks may return. But certainly for the foreseeable future, it'll just be Solway Ice Hockey Club. Everybody referred to us as the Sharks or Solway or whatever. Anyway, it's not that big a deviation. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I was really, really upset by this. I like, it's something that I believed heavily in, that the name is owned by the club. It shouldn't be done, but unfortunately, it's just one of these things right now, and hopefully it gets cleared up in the next year or so, and then we can see what happens for there. But yes, to answer your question shortly, the fans have took to it really, really well, and that is the reason why we haven't went full rebrand, because I was a big believer. Like, loads of these fans have invested money in all these jerseys and stuff, and if you change it to, like, I don't know, Dumfries Vikings or something, go back to that, like, all of that merch kind of goes null and void. Where they can still wear their Solid jerseys, their hoodies, all that kind of stuff that they've invested in, flags, all the rest of it. And I thought that was really, really important. I didn't think we could lose that identity, and I certainly didn't want to either.
I mean, I think it's probably a sensible move by the league and the owners to just mitigate the risk at this point in time. That's all it is.
It's just not worth it. Aye, it's just not worth it. We want a clean break on absolutely everything. It's nothing to do with them. It's not their fault. So it just totally makes sense. It's correct.
I also believe that they're aiming to control the bar and the cafe upstairs. Are you anything you can tell me about that, Jamie, or is that still to be decided?
No, nothing yet. The cafe and the bar are ran by a completely separate contract to the ice itself, to the team itself. The entity, we have to tender it for it the same as everybody else. So the outcome of that hasn't been decided yet.
Okay. We've You're talking about you've done 300 hours of presentations and all the rest of it. And it kind of always reminds me of the old joke, if you want something done, give it to a busy man.
Yes.
But there's, there's probably 300 plus hours more to do before we even get to that pre-season, these pre-season games, isn't there?
I mean, we're doing really well now. We've covered a lot of ground in the last 7 days,
Since
eight, 10 days.
basically since the league approved our
Yeah,
place,
like
yeah.
signed. We've got 18 players signed down and contracts done. There's probably two. Well, there's one that we're meeting tonight that I think will get done tonight, and then another two that will sign probably for the weekend. And I think we'll hold at that. I need to speak to Martin, but I think we'll hold at that. It will give us 19, 20, and we're probably holding to see who comes available in the coming months. Someone with a bit of quality that we can add. Obviously, we lost the two boys to Milton Keynes and one to Basingstoke. Um, so if somebody comes available with a bit of experience that we can bring in, we'll leave that in the budget to allow that to do it. But I'm really happy with the squad that we've got, and I think the guys we've brought in that haven't played for us before, I think they'll upgrade on what we had last year. I think we'll be competitive. I have no doubts about that. I think we'll be really good. The key is just this year I've organised an 8 week preseason, so like we've got 3 weeks of us, 8 weeks for eight games, potentially six challenges, two in Blackburn home and away, Edinburgh home and away, and then we step up to play Steel Dogs. Then we're not going to have a weekend off before the league starts, but we will have a camp in Dumfries to then adjust to see, because we'll be able to tell where we're at. We've had a good run in, we've had 6 games, give the boys a bit of a downtime, a bit more relaxed before the business starts. And I think that's going to be really, really valuable this year compared to what we had to deal with last year, which will then mean points on the board earlier. And hopefully, the end result will be a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the last three pre-seasons, year one, we were in a race similar to what we're at in the
Yeah.
minute to get to the start. Year two was a bit better. Last year, there was the closure of the Ice Bowl, and we had to play so many games away. We were without coaches for some of those games as well. So that
Yeah.
was just not great. This year seems much better from the players, the hockey side of things. All the other stuff is just has to happen, doesn't it?
Oh, look, I think I said to the guys before they left, I said, look, what you will have to be prepared to come in a bit earlier next year. I'm already looking at pre-season and want you in 2, 3 weeks earlier than normal. And they were all up for that, like Big Johnny and these other guys that were potentially coming back. They said fine. Even spoke to Kellen Carter, who at that point were still coming back, and said fine. I just addressed the whole team and I said, look, I don't know where you're all going to be, but if you're all coming back, then you're going to have to be you're going to have to be ready to go. And all of them, whether they're coming back or not, said yes, which was good.
Yeah.
And the new guys we've brought in to cover those that have left have all said the same as well. They're going to be in early and want to go, so we're done really well there.
Well, we'll not talk about too much about the players that we've not announced because else your interview is going to have to go out probably at
Oh, you can put
pre-season,
it
and
out
everybody
whenever.
wants to hear you now.
I've not gave anything away there. Like, there's new ones and there's some coming back. There's some that aren't coming back that people don't know aren't coming back yet. It's been a bit of a revolving door, but I'm happy with who we've got.
But that's every season in hockey, isn't it?
Unfortunately, I mean, what we will get to, and I really hope we'll get to, is if you look at, well, Swindon's done a bit of a rebuild job more than they did this year normally. But like the successful teams, like your Swindon and your Leeds and these guys, the vast majority of years, they're only finding one or two little pieces to upgrade what they've got and they keep their core together. We've not really had the chance to do that and keep a group together. I really hope we do now because yeah, you need loyalty, and yes, people want to make playoffs and be successful. But what they really need to understand is you don't get to that point unless you battle through it together and stick together. Jumping ship club to club every year has only got a lifespan of so long. And I also get it that you only play this game so long. I said this to Kel when Kel was looking a bit going, he's been here since he was 16. You only get to play the game so long. If you want to go and experience something else, then go for it. But we just hope that we can keep a core of players together to get some successes running. And then finding one or two upgrades every summer is a lot easier than having to find half a dozen. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, you mentioned Kell there signing for Milton Keynes, and I mean, and we'll not talk about Solway at this point, but I look at Milton Keynes as well, I imagine spend because I don't know how much they spend, but they are looking a very, very good team, very good strength and depth, as are Sheffield as well. As you say, Swindon rebuilding with Aaron's
Yeah.
retirement as such. Who do you think the teams to beat next season are going to be?
But I think, well, I mean, you mentioned Milton Keynes. I don't like really judging other teams, but Pete's got a job in his hand there, balancing that team because he's basically got a team of top six forwards. He's going to have to try and keep happy. Good luck with that. Now, yeah, but he's an experienced coach and he'll do that well. But uh, I have to say, like with that roster that they've already put together, I mean, if they are not right up there, then there's something severely wrong. Leeds will always be there. Ryan's got a really great organised team there. I haven't seen a huge amount of announcements for them, but those young boys that they bled through into the club, I was really, really impressed with Vengus. I seen him again in the Scotland England games. Bailey was playing against them in those games, and I thought he was by far their best player. So he's bled three or four of those young guys in that team. They'll be good. Hull again. Matty's put a really strong to get team together there. Sheffield, speaks for itself. I think those teams are they're spending. They are spending. They have got bigger budgets. Um, but to pick the overall leader, I mean, right now, if I was a betting man, I'd stick money on Milton Keynes. But I also think that their squad depth could be their downfall.
Yeah, just trying to keep everybody happy.
But it's not just that as well, Andy. Right? I mean, I may get this totally wrong. They might go and win every game, and on other teams are. But within a successful team, again, if you look at Leeds when they were winning, each line brought something different. Their third and fourth liners went out and did their job. They took bodies, they killed penalties, they ate up valuable minutes to allow their top guys to really play. A lot of these other players that are going there, that they're not used to doing those jobs. They want to play offense all the time. They're maybe not potentially used to blocking shots and
Yeah.
doing what they need to do. So, but again, Pete's a good coach. He's been about a bit for example. So I'm sure he knows what he's doing. He's recruited his team, and hey, ultimately that's his problem, right? It's no one for us. So, and that's the same in all these teams that are top heavy. So. For us, I think you need a team that can do everything. That boys can play up and down the lineup, be versatile. Certainly in smaller budget teams and smaller clubs like us, that we need that. We couldn't have we couldn't go and sign a whole team of these superstars.
Well, I think this is one of the things that we're so happy as fans being in this league. Yeah, and as you said earlier on, you've been around this club forever. But when we stepped up to NIHL level, it was an absolute privilege to watch top quality hockey, and that's going to be maintained by the efforts of
Yeah.
the four owners, yourself, and Martin. And I'm just happy that we've got a team at this point, Jamie, because as we said earlier on, this wasn't a given that we were going to be
No,
happening.
far from a given, Andy, and I'm more than relieved it's worked out. This is never a personal thing. It was a business decision to forge on when we got the news that things weren't working. I mean, basically, I was sitting there with two choices here. Did I just go, oh well, it was nice while it lasted, and we'll go back to the SNL or NHL one or whatever. Which, no disrespect to them, they're decent enough leagues. But how can you go back to watching that every week when you've been watching and playing and dealing with what playing with, and seeing how much some of these boys have developed and got better and stuff, and take that opportunity away from them? Being the only Scottish team in that league. I personally couldn't do that. So that's when kind of picked up the mantle and said, right, who wants to help? How can we get this going and go on with it? And there'll be many folk that would just have went, for enough of that, walk away, carry the board with that headache. But just something that wasn't possible for me. That thought process just didn't even come through, and luckily we found the right people.
Can you imagine how difficult it would be to be watching the scores come in on a Saturday and a Sunday if we weren't in this league? It'd be so
Yeah.
difficult. Um,
And I don't think the fans would be able to. I mean, get me wrong, some of the SNL, some of them go and watch SNL, and that's really appreciated, and they're doing a great job building that young team out. But I don't think the vast majority of people that come to, they're not purist hockey fans. They like coming to hockey. It's fast, it's exciting, because
yeah,
that a lot of these fans that come to our games now, that's all they've ever watched. They never watched the old team.
yeah.
Um, so to drop back to that, that disappointment, I don't think you could bounce back from that. I don't think stepping back for a year or two and then going up again was ever going to be an option. It was now keep it going or it's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm over them. I maybe don't seem it right now, but I am over the moon, Andy, that we're there.
And your role in the new structures going forward, you chief operating officer. Did I hear somebody say that that's your title?
I have no idea what it is. I don't really care what it is, but
You
you
just
know,
do what needs to be done.
absolutely. I'll deal with the boys. They've done all their contracts, all the negotiation, and negotiated with the travel partners, equipment things, all that kind of side of things. I did the budget, got that agreed by the board. Um, I kept that kind of watertight. I miss hockey's I'm a hockey guy. I don't want to get dragged into all the other stuff, but I definitely will, certainly will help. But right now, you need a team effort with this, so job titles are kind of irrelevant, and we can sort that out at the end when it matters.
Absolutely. Well, it's really great talking to you, and it's really great that you've taken the time to speak so honestly and forthrightly with the fans. It's the same question at the end that you get the chance to talk for a wee minute or two to the fans. So over to you, Jamie.
Oh, it's a really hard one, isn't it? I mean, first of all, I would say, look, I feel for the fans that have parted with and are up in the air with their season ticket money, and I just hope that situation gets sorted out for you all. And a big ask for us is to come to these pre-season games, get us off and running really quickly, give us your support like everybody has done, bring people with you, and really make a noise about the Solway Ice Hockey Club now. online, help us drive the profile up, etc., etc. And generally just be as amazing as you have been. The back end of last season was incredible, and if we can kick that off in August onwards, that we'll go for there. And again, those affected, but we'll see how that runs, and we kind of get involved in that, but we'll try and support you as much as we can with whatever you need to try and make sure you can get to games. So, yeah, keep us posted. We've got loads of news coming out. As I say, we've signed near enough the whole team, so keep your eyes posted on the Facebook and Instagram posts, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Well, thank you, Jamie, and thanks to everyone who watched this little podcast with me and Jamie. We hope to see you at the Expo very, very soon. And as Jamie says, get buying those tickets, raise the profile, share, subscribe, all these sorts of things that I gave up saying, but I'm going to have to start saying them again. We need to start all these new socials. But thanks to everyone.
Yeah.
This is Andy
Cheers,
Gwynn.
Andy.
Andy Gwynn saying cheerio.